Hey YouTube, it's Prep for Life, and today we're reviewing the MH12GTS from Nitecore. I know it's a little bit of a mouthful on the title, but this thing is actually a pretty cool flashlight. Very kind of similar and in the same vein as a lot of the other tactical flashlights that I've used. I'm excited to dig into this. The really cool feature here is the 1800 lumens. Both of these that I'm familiar with are only going up to about 900 or 1000 lumens. So this thing definitely gives some cool advantages over what I've used in the past, in addition to direct charging through a micro USB port and the waterproof rating. Let's dig in and see what we've got inside, shall we? So a good carry case. This feels pretty solid. We have our lanyard, and then there's my belt clip as well, so I can put that on. So those are my carry options. I love that this comes with a 3500 milliamp 18650 battery. I have seen manufacturers in the past who do not include this. I can't imagine why, but I'm super happy to see a good high output option. There is my micro USB. So again, maybe I'm just dealing with some of the older models, but I do like the fact that this is coming with a USB rechargeable option. That's awesome to me, because that way I don't have to pull this battery out if I don't have to. I can just plug it into something that I already have readily available. Let's take a look at this flashlight. Made from high-grade aluminum, an IPX rating, which means you're going to be submersible to 2 meters, waterproof. And what I had pointed out to me is that you've got the rubber gasket that covers the USB port, but I'm also told that this USB port is integrally waterproof, and that the rubber gasket is really just for additional protection. And then as far as a tactical flashlight goes, you're going to notice a couple of different options, right? So you have your tail switch, which again is really good for carry options, especially if you're looking for, shooting while carrying. So basically you'd go back of hand to back of hand, and then you'd have a tail switch, which allows you to control that. The side switch, from what I understand, is going to be your battery indicator as well as your different light modes. You have your turbo of 1800 lumens, which could run for a solid 30 minutes, but you also have 900 lumens at 2 hours 15 minutes, 240 lumens at 5 hours and 45 minutes, 70 lumens at 19 hours, and an ultra low 1 lumen mode, which could run for 250 hours, which I love. Your special modes are going to be your strobe, your beacon, and your SOS, all three of those running at a full 1800 lumens. Weight-wise, it's not too bad. You're 3.51 ounces, so not bad there. Let's go ahead and toss in our battery. Go ahead and put that in. Cool, and I've got my indicator that just flashed. That's awesome. I think we're ready to go. Oh, and I did forget to mention, you have a removable utility ring right here. As you're seeing, those are, again, as you may have just seen me hold, that gives you a few more options in terms of carrying. You'll see kind of the smaller spacing right here. That's where I'm going to put my my pocket carry clip if I do plan on carrying this in the pocket. So really several different options depending on how you plan to use this. So let's try a couple of the modes here. So right there is my 1 lumen. I absolutely love that, because every once in a while you definitely need a low mode to be able to operate in. But now as I thumb through, that would be my 70, 240, 900, and 1800, which I think I may need to charge this up before I get my full 1800. So I'm going through, like if I'm at my 70 lumen mode right here, and I double tap, there's my strobe. Interesting, oh, there it is. Yep, so I press and held. That's gonna be my beacon. Press and hold, and I should get my SOS. Very cool. Again, those are happening at a turbo mode, so they're very visible from far off. Press and hold again, and I should get my strobe. So if I turn that off, now here's what I'm wondering. It has a memory mode. Cool, it actually remembered that I was on strobe. If I'm going to use this as a home defense flashlight, or maybe mounted to a rifle, I rarely see a flashlight that can actually remember that it's in strobe. It's usually something that I have to access through a couple of different clicks. I'm kind of hopeful that I'd be able to set that as a strobe and then put it in my closet, let's say attached to my bump in the night gun, and then immediately go to strobe. Again, it's a disorienting feature. It's a tactical option that really helps you get the advantage in a tactical situation should you ever have to use this in self-defense. I'm going to go ahead and plug this thing in. There we go. I get my little indicator. That's gonna get going. Let me just kind of familiarize myself and stick with me. So we're gonna try this thing actually on the rifle. I've done this before with another light. I actually really like it. I'm kind of always going back and forth with different options for lighting on my self-defense gun. So first things first, you'll notice empty chamber, no magazine. I always like to make sure that these things are completely empty. Now, it just so happens I've already installed a little piece of rail section right here on the end, and I have, from the last time I did this, I have a little scope ring that I bought. They're really not that expensive. I'm gonna just try mounting this right there because I want a good balance between being able to reach the light as well as, you know, because I happen to have a muzzle brake right here on this particular rifle, so I don't want that to necessarily damage my light. It's not an exact science because every rifle is going to be just a little bit different. So you just want to make sure that you are weighing this out. It may take, you know, a little bit of trial and error before you find the right placement. And that can even be like moving the rail section around, things like that. Okay, so for this, I'm actually going to take the pocket clip off. And it should, well, now that I have this loosened, just slide right in. Okay. I mean, I want to get as much of the knurling in there as possible. And I want to have a good location for my thumb so that when I'm holding the rifle, I can just depress the switch. So that's about where I would want it. There we go. I have a mounted light. Judging by the way that I usually will hold a rifle, I may even see about moving the rail section up here so that I can actually depress that with my thumb. I usually will do a thumb brake so that I'm holding the rifle like this instead of like that. That's just me. I can certainly reach over and flip that on. It looks pretty solid. It kind of sticks out a little bit for me though. I may see, you know, if there's a way to minimize that, but that's how easy it is to add one of these to a rifle just using a piece of rail section and a scope ring. Let's try this out. So it's a little darker in here, but normally, you know, I would bring my gun up like that. What I've been taught is that you depress twice and hold it so that if anything were to happen to that gun, comes out of my hand, the light comes off. Last thing I want is for that to be on the ground pointing out to a bad guy where I am. That's a little bit cumbersome for as far as, I mean, you can see the position of my hand, the way that I hold it. It may work if I just come up and do that. I mean, I like it. It may not be my favorite, but again, I wanted to be able to test that out. It's really solid in there. It's not going anywhere. And that took me all of, you know, 2-3 minutes to put on there. So I've actually been carrying this light for a few weeks now. One thing I have noticed is that this can obviously snag on stuff, get popped up, and a lot of times I'll come and find it just looking like that. It's not a huge annoyance. At first I was maybe tempted to just rip this off and you know, maybe just kind of roll without it, but at the same time I do like that there's a little bit of protection from like dust and stuff like that, so I'm gonna leave that on there. But I would like to see, you know, and make sure that it's actually going to work. I am going to open that panel, so that's just loose. Let's go ahead and put it in the water. All right. So it's working. I'm going to go ahead and move this around a little bit. No issues. I'll even open that up and make sure we got water going into the USB port. Yeah. So it is integrally waterproof. Not bad at all. That gives me a lot of confidence in this thing. Utilize the buttons. Cool. Okay, so as far as durability, I'm not really concerned with this thing. It's solid construction. I mean, you've got lightweight aluminum alloy. You're going to see some fading over time as this wears in your pocket, as it takes some spills. As you can see, it's on. I'm going to go ahead and just, like, it's not going to stop working. It's just going to continue to work. It's going to take some clanks. It'll take a little bit of a beating. Like you can see some of the finish on these does come off, and that's with every flashlight I've ever used that has this design, right? But that's almost kind of like a badge of honor. So all things considered, I'm really happy with this light. I've carried it now for a few weeks. It has served me just as well as any of the others. This thing is a very nice direct beam that's going to shine, you know, exactly where you need it to. It's going to be very concentrated. I like the LED. I like the power output. I like the durability. I just don't think you're going to be disappointed in this light. Hope you found this video useful. Feel free to give me a like and a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're interested in the type of videos we do, and you'll be notified of new content as it comes out. Thanks for watching.